Okay.
Now I just want one overarching research question. So I think you should have this, which is how to develop a tourist or a service for your farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The name of it. So it's just one single question, and that's what the whole project is about. These sub-questions, as I say, it's more about going... The first phase, in which I'm focused on finding the target user group, so that really does align to that, doesn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what you're doing in phase one. How are you going to do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to do a survey, or how are you getting the information from people? A questionnaire.
Yep.
Yeah. But then you're going to be designing journey maps, touch points.
Yeah.
So that question, it should be something more like how can we communicate the insights of target users from a questionnaire through personas and journey maps?
Yep.
Okay, do you see what I mean?
Man side.
So that means when you start that phase, that the first thing you look at is that question. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to answer here, and it keeps you on focus during that phase.
Yep.
If you start doing other stuff and it's not answering your question, you should stop doing it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why I put, question 1, question 2, question 3. Okay? So one single overarching question. This is all good, because this is, well, I think this is good too, because we've got to get straight into this. I was going to say,
Okay.
Can we figure, China's a huge country. I don't know where it is, particularly because you're talking about these. So it's a map that's got the farm located, not the whole of China with a tiny dot.
Okay.
But you might want to show the region that it's in, and maybe you need two maps. One of China.
Two map.
It's that sort of zoom in.
A self map.
Yeah. This is good. We've got this. We've got a farm location in here.
Yeah.
So again, maybe it's a bigger map.
More bigger.
And then as we get in, we get more granular.
Yeah.
Bigger.
Okay.
I've got to be able to read this stuff. It means another page, that it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Figure. This will probably be figure 1.
Figure 1.
This will be figure 2, and also
reference.
source. Yeah. Okay, so wherever that image comes from.
Yeah. Figure 1.
Same with these. 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Source. These, I think, this case study is fantastic.
Yeah.
Bigger.
Okay.
That one in particular, because I have a bit of trouble seeing that, but I reckon that would be a fantastic, from what I can see of that map, and I don't know if it's higher resolution, looks like they've got a big piece of paper, and this could be your farm, and these could be your personas.
Yeah.
These could be the outer tourist resorts. And if you're this person and you've got a little character,
I can use Photoshop to design it.
Yeah.
And make some notes in the picture.
Yeah, so these are like one of the things you could design the resources for something like this that you could, as part of your research project, that you could take back to China and run workshops.
Okay.
Your research could be about how to run a workshop back in China with groups of people. I don't know, but this is a great piece of practice example, and I just need the source, and I need to see those pictures.
Okay.
This one I would also put BMC in appendix. So there's the standard template for the business model canvas.
Yeah.
It's got values, cost, revenue, just the standard template.
Okay. You mean the different item?
Yeah, it's basically looks like
Okay. Template.
that.
Okay.
Cost,
Cost, yeah.
revenue,
Yeah.
values,
Okay.
channels,
Yeah, channels. Partner.
stakeholders.
Yeah.
But it's just the template because
Yeah.
that just if you put that in the appendix, it means I know that you've looked at that, you know what it's about.
Yeah.
That's particular that just because you do one, this is sort of explaining that you need to iterate that plan based on feedback, so that's fine. So we've added that in. I thought the only thing that's kind of missing is a little bit of it here.
Yeah.
That, I would like to see something in here on service design. Do you know what I mean? Or is that, you could put it in here. Well, where's the approach?
Oh,
This is
I'm not finished my approach.
Yeah, okay. Background approach. So, okay, I'll just put where is definition service design. There's some here, but that's in the introduction. We need about a paragraph. It's probably either background or approach.
Yeah.
Okay. But you've got to show me. I know you know what service design is, but in a proposal, you have to demonstrate to people that you're aware of the literature. What is service design? What
Yeah,
does it mean?
like survey, like yeah.
But it's, because service design is a well-established practice about the last 15 years. There's a number of books, the ones we use Stickdawn and use one of those major texts to give a definition of what is service design, and that we use personas, what does a journey map do?
Yeah.
What is a blueprint? That sort of stuff. And it'll only be about a paragraph.
Yeah, so
One paragraph. But that is part of the...
in background. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Is my use of the same basis for the service prototype and develop prototype formulation. Students building a service prototype based on target user need analysis or identifying the service prototype is not used based on the choice guide, which is really good. Yep. Third phase is probably
Oh, okay. Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah.
Because generally you do the service blueprint and then you do a minimum viable product, but I think because it's practice-based research, it makes sense for you to actually prototype some particular service. Yeah, but then once you make that, you might go, oh, that's actually part of a larger service.
Yeah.
And then the blueprint could communicate, but you don't have to design all the elements in that service. But what you would have is a very persuasive or compelling proposal to take back to you. Because really, the way I see it is, you're wanting to do everything in this research project that you could go back, present this as a concept, maybe develop it up with some local workshops.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you might want to do further research on it to develop it and strengthen it. But you're really looking for a proposal to enhance and develop, meet the need and opportunity that's in this specific place in is it San Juan?
Yeah.
How do I pronounce that?
Same one, the farm.
San Juan.
Yeah.
San Juan. Yeah, cool. So I think that's fine. This is Jenny now. So What are you doing with participants? Survey, questionnaire and interview tools.
Yeah.
Where do they take place? Here. What are you doing? See, that should be in... Can I just check off here? We've got questionnaire, which is survey. So that's a survey,
Yeah.
not an interview.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Your-
yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
plan.
Shadowing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
Okay, so that has to be
Yeah.
the same as this.
Okay.
So is this a survey?
Yeah, yeah. This is so.
Okay. And you've got questionnaire, you've got survey, but we don't.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you can't do any shadowing during this time because you're going to be in Melbourne.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See what I mean? It's just take out what's not happening. You know, what are you going to be doing in this?
I can't.
Is that right? And then list existing product information, activity, culture. Tourist guide. Oh, focus group. So
Yep.
this is a local focus group about your guide.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so this is the questions for your survey.
Yeah, but I think it is not good.
Okay, we can have a look at that survey.
Yeah, 1 page 4.
It's just the last page from the EISCF template.
Yeah.
So this is appendix 1. This is appendix 2, and this will require. And if you can do this for next week, complete the EISCF. Okay, so that's the whole document.
Yeah.
Focus group questions. So you've got 2 bits of participant stuff. Because what I actually think, this would be something, if you could do something like this back in China after the research project would be great.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
This is mainly based on the China inmates. Because this is research carried out in China with Chinese people. The problem you've got is you're doing your research here in Melbourne.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
And our ethics only covers the time you're enrolled in the course next semester. So you could potentially, in this phase, or even in the exegesis,
Yeah. You use this.
you
way.
could design something like this.
Okay.
You know, like imagine designing a workshop for when you got back to China as part of the service to get basically deeper insights beyond I think it's perfectly fine to use a survey here just because we're so far away. But I actually think if you could develop a resource like this to sort of further
Yeah.
would be, and that would be a really, because this is exactly, this is not like these kind of templated journey maps. This is a group of local people going, if I'm on your farm,
Yeah.
how do I get out to that waterfall or that
Yeah.
temple that's 20 kilometres away?
Yeah.
And then you start to think about, well, there's a bus that runs out there, or does the farm actually run a van, again, and you start to offer tours into the local area, so that's a new service, okay? But I really like the look of that.
Okay, I make it. Yeah.
And this one looks like they're sort of making food.
Yeah.
And if you're going to use all those three images, it would be, yes, it's collecting customer needs, but what's the need? Is that about how they cook food? This seems to be very much about the location.
Yeah, location. Yeah.
And not quite sure what that one is. These are all around children too.
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah. This is one children.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yours doesn't, but I think that you can get so much information with this kind like surveys and questionnaires are fine, but a workshop where you've got materials like that, you'll get so much richer insights.
Okay.
But let's focus on the proposal. I did wonder about this, like how much of this information can you get now from published tourist information?
Yeah. Maybe. I lack of some information. I'm lack of some information about the farm protest now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, do I need to collect the information from the farm?
I'm just thinking about what's actually available. Not a survey, but just what's publicly available information. Because there must be information about the tourist resources in your region,
Yeah.
from tourist websites and stuff. And what I've written there, which you probably can't read, is appendix. Like you could put another appendix after there.
You mean?
Preliminary list of sites. Well, I put it in as appendix. It can be just a list like that.
Okay.
Not a lot of detail, but I'd rather you kind of gather that, and that stuff you can do in the summer. Like you can get a lot more. But if you kind of start gathering it now,
Yeah, too much detail.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's kind of a waste of your time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Because that's not practice-based research actually.
Yeah.
That's just gathering data.
Yeah. Just
Okay,
getting.
do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, do you mean examples of existing?
Yeah, example.
You've done a little bit of that in here already, haven't you?
Okay.
Haven't you? Because didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just think in next semester I need to often to check the case study and to get some inspiration from case study.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the other thing I would be looking at is if your tourists are mostly Chinese. Are they mostly Chinese?
No, I think
International.
yeah, international, not just focus on Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that's a challenge. But I think that's, to develop all the content and develop a bilingual or multilingual document is a lot of work. If you can come up with a prototype
Yeah.
guide within this, and then through that you'll think about all the things that it might need to do in a future iteration. So I think that's fine. And stuff like that, like, are you going home at Christmas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so what I would go around and go around some tourist places
Yeah,
and
okay.
pick up
Pick up.
as many guides as you can.
Yeah.
Good ones, bad ones, doesn't really matter, but just kind of see what sort of information, how they're organised.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I plan to go to Sears again.
yeah,
Yeah, and pick up.
cool. No, but I was thinking in China, just because that's where it would be published, and think about what's around
Okay.
there as well. So I think that's fine. So I take that out of there.
Okay.
And if you've got time and you can put some of this information, let's put it in there.
Okay.
Work on having ready for next week the completed bits of that with these questions. Do you know any farm tourists? Have you? Do you know if I do that, it means switch them around?
Okay.
Have you visited any tourist farms? Tourist? Yeah, okay. Tourist farm. So how about the services in the farm? Yeah, I'm not sure. What is that question asking? How about the services?
Just like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feeling?
Yeah, it's quite a... How many days did you stay? Okay, this one goes up. What I try to do is try to group the questions.
Yeah.
So, have you visited? What made you go? How many days did you stay? They're all quite factual questions, so I kind of group them together. So that's past experiences. This is much more about specific attractions. What do you think about developing a farm? How about service? What kinds of activity would you like to find? See, is that question and part of that question? I'm not sure that really...
I think part of...
Unless you ask it differently. I think that... That's quite a hard question for people to answer unless they're actually actively involved in it.
It's hard.
I think this is, it's much more about people's kind of feelings and sensations and experiences. That's what you're really trying to get at. It's the emotional qualities. That's why you're doing. Do you think there's a kind of environmental sustainability? With environmental? Okay, you're starting to ask the same questions in different ways. I think there's facts you need to know about whether they've visited farms and what their experience has been, and then these ones are about nature and sustainability.
Yeah.
This one I'd probably put... Yeah, that's pretty important given that you're proposing.
Yeah.
Leave the money one till last. Do you willing to pay more money for a farm? The other thing you would want on here is a question about, because remembering your proposal is to connect it to other.
Yeah. Connect other.
Yeah.
forest
So
resource.
what there's accommodation on your farm, on the farm.
Yeah.
You can stay there.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so you can have that as a base and then travel out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
really close.
Yeah, so sort of. What? Something like main tourist attraction. The other thing is if you collect this information about the other tourist things,
Yeah.
you could give them
Yeah.
a list and to
Yeah.
say, you know, if there was a map to go and see these, which of these would you go to?
Yeah,
Yes,
what kind?
no, yes, no.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when I start, what are the main, like, what do you want to see? Well, that's going to get you a whole lot of answers.
Okay.
When some of those things aren't in the region of your farm. So I think this would be better to be, you know, list 5 of the things, and of these 5 or 10 things, which would you maybe rank? You could rank them.
Okay.
One being definitely visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
2
yeah.
might visit.
Yeah.
3 not visit. Okay, because that gives you a ranking that you can compare.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
So I think it's just getting through. Bring both of those next week with the
Okay.
forms, and that's
Yeah.
got your appendices. Tick there. Put that in. But this is all looking really good as long as the pictures are bigger and the sources are.
Okay, no problem.
That one really is. Yeah. Okay, so this is essentially journey map, isn't it?
Yeah, this is first. This is first one, and
Yeah. But you think about in that, you know, see, that's why, you know, you're pushing, when you find research like that says you need to iterate this quite a lot, it would make me think that perhaps you might be doing a service blueprint in here
yeah.
that you refine here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just like I can find some reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, this is telling you that these maps need to be iterated, so you might have service facilitator. Well, I mean, it could be service blueprint draft, and that's basically 1 week,
Okay.
but a couple of days,
Yeah.
and then you basically that is part of that blueprint,
Yeah.
and then you refine the blueprint,
Yeah.
and you refine
Yeah.
the artifact.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why we're doing this research, right? You learn from that
Yeah.
and say, how do I apply that to mine?
Okay.
Yep. Okay, is that all right?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's cool. That's looking good.
Thank you so much. Really clear.